So what are we about to do?
Yeah, so we've put down these mulches.
Yeah.
And now we have to plant our plants. Now, a lot of times it's easiest to plant your plants after you put the mulch down, because then you don't have to fit the mulch around the plant.
Right.
So that's what we did here, especially with these sheet mulches, which is what we're going to be planting in today.
Okay.
You want to make sure you put the mulch down first and then plant through it.
Right.
So all 6 of these sections of our garden are going to be planted the same. So we're going to put the same plants in each, so we can kind of compare how the mulches do.
Okay.
So what we're going to have is we have 3 rows. We're going to have 1 row of flowers. Okay. We're going to have 1 row that is tomato and 2 pepper plants. And we're going to have 1 row that is some beans and watermelon.
Got it.
And so we just go ahead and start planting, I guess.
Okay, let's go ahead and do it.
So on this particular section, this is going to be our flowers, so we're not going to worry about that. We're going to plant those another time.
Got it. Okay.
So let's do our tomatoes our tomatoes and peppers first. And for this kind of mulch, the easiest way to do it is to just cut a little cross.
Yeah.
So I do have irrigation in here, irrigation lines. So there's one of my lines right there. I want to make sure that I'm close to the line, but I don't cut the line.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. So it's pretty easy. All I do is I just make a little cross here. And now I have the soil exposed.
Okay, so just wide enough to put the plant material in there. Okay.
Yeah, just wide enough to put the plant material in there. We have better bush tomatoes that we're going to plant. These are determinate, meaning that they will grow to a certain size, pretty much stop growing, and then put on all of their fruit at once.
Okay.
The reason why we're doing this is because we do have a limited space here.
Yeah.
And honestly, I didn't want to build 6 tomato trellises.
Right, I got you, because you definitely need them.
Yeah.
For indeterminates.
So we chose the determinate.
Okay.
So it's nicely rooted.
Yeah, good root system.
Yep. So I'm just going to go ahead and.
Okay. So we don't have to plant them too deep, right?
Nope, just plant them at the depth that it was built, that it was in the nursery. Although these are tomatoes, so I am going to plant it a little deeper.
Just a little bit. Okay.
Because all the little hairs on the side of a tomato plant can be roots if they're underground. So I'm just going to go ahead and plant that a little deeper than it was in the pot.
Okay. And we got that right next to your...
Yep, and our irrigation line is right here.
Okay.
So that should get lots of water.
Good. That's right there. So we'll just... Again with the cross.
Yep, just a cross right there. And once you've started it, if you need it a little bigger, you can just go ahead and kind of stretch it a little bit.
And it does stretch.
Yep.
So there's some give.
And so with these though, I do want to plant them at container depth for the peppers. And once again, really nice roots. I'm just going to kind of tease those up just a little bit. And plant that right there.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's a bell pepper.
Yeah, let's make sure we get this nut sedge out of there.
Oh yes, that's good.
Yeah.
Because nut sedge will take advantage of any open spot you have, and this area does have a lot of nut sedge. Okay, so those are plants that came in pots.
Okay.
We're also going to plant beans and watermelons.
Got it. And we've been doing
And we're going to do that over there.
Okay.
So let me grab the seed packets here.
Okay.
And I think what we're going to do is we're going to plant the watermelon here so that it can run into our walkways and kind of use this space as opposed to running out onto the grass.
So this is going to sprawl.
So so here's our irrigation line right here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this a little different. I'm just going to cut a slit right here.
All right.
And then grab my trowel here. And we're going to go ahead.
Okay. So you're going to mound it up a little bit?
I'm not really going to mound it that much. What I'm going to do is I just basically did a trench.
Okay.
Once these come up and we've chosen our plants, go ahead and put one of the staples that's holding the plastic down right there to just kind of keep this from, opening up more and letting more weeds grow.
Okay, I got it.
So we'll do that.
Makes sense.
Okay, now we got string beans.
Right.
Yes, so these are pole beans.
Okay.
And this is going to, we're going to go ahead and plant 2 rows. So here's our irrigation line right here. And we're going to plant 2 rows, and they're going to be kind of longer because, beans, you need a lot of plants.
And Peter, as you're doing that, the sun has popped out, and you can definitely feel the heat coming off of this plastic.
Yes, part of our experiment here is I'm really curious to know how these plants do with such a dark surface that they're growing in. because I could easily see that possibly some of these plants are gonna die from the heat.
Yeah.
But we'll find out.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing this experiment. And I'm doing about 2 inches apart.
About 2 inches. All right.
4 inches is what they'll grow at, so that gives me some options when it comes to thinning. So this is the landscape fabric.
Right.
It's kind of has the texture of a light tarp. It does let the light through.
Right.
Or excuse me, not the light through. It does let some water through.
Yeah.
There's another option. With this, you can use a torch and just burn holes in the sheet. Now, one of the other advantages of using the torch is that because this is woven, when you cut it, it likes to fray.
Yeah.
If you burn it, it's not going to fray.
No fray.
Because it melts the edge.
Got it.
What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this
Oh.
and there we go. Burned a hole in the
Look at that. Easy.
in the plastic. Yeah.
Okay.
It's really easy. Now, in a minute, I'll show you how to do it with a knife too,
Okay.
because not everybody has a blowtorch.
Right. Got it in there.
Put the tomato in.
Yeah. There you go.
The other nice thing about the blowtorch is if you know exactly where your stuff's going to be, you can just go through and go burn, burn, burn,
Yeah.
burn,
Quick
burn,
and
burn,
easy.
burn. Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah.
For this next one though, same thing as the other one, we're just going to cut an X.
And that was the fray that you're talking about.
Yeah, so if you notice,
right
like it's really frayed
Yeah,
here.
sure is.
You could, if you wanted to, you could get a lighter or something like that and melt the edges, kind of like you would a rope, just to keep the fray from coming out. I'm going to go ahead and just tuck this under here, but yeah, this is,
Yeah, it's a lot.
yeah.
Ah, yeah. Right next to the line. Good.
Yep, so it should get lots of good water.
Ah, so good.
I will say, ouch, it is a little warm still, but not terrible.
Not terrible.
So now let's go over and do our beans and our watermelons. I'm going to go ahead and use a torch again. Okay. So there we go. Notice no fraying at all.
Okay.
So we're going to trench here. So we'll put our 5 seeds in here. That's 1, 2, 3,
Wow.
4, 5.
I almost can't see those.
Yeah, no, they're the same color as the soil for sure. Okay, so there's those. Now I'm going to, where's my line? Here's my line. So I'm going to take my drip line, and I'm going to put it right there. Okay, so now let's do the beans. We're going to cut this hole instead of burning it. Let's see here, there's our tube right there. Yep, so we're going to do one right here.
Yeah.
And we'll do another one right here. Okay.
All right.
So one of the things is if you are good enough, I'm not, to cut right down the line, the fraying is minimal. You do have some here, and it will likely continue to fray through the summer.
Yeah.
You know, this will probably become totally threadbare by the end, but
No, it
that's
definitely
okay.
will. Under the heat.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So there we go. So now we have our test planted and synthetic mulch here. Let's actually, since we can, let's go ahead and drag our irrigation hose right between